Welcome back to the How to Flip a Classroom training. We're up to video number 6 now, and I'm just going to give you some tips on things to do and things not to do, just a few things that I've learned in the last few years of creating these videos. My first tip is to keep videos short. I notice that when I exceed about the 10-minute mark, my students start to get a little bit whiny. So try to keep them short. In my opinion, 2 5-minute videos is better than 1 10-minute video. My next recommendation, and probably the most important one in my opinion, is to include assessment into your videos. You'll notice that in all of my videos I've given you video quizzes at the end, and I do that in my classes as well. There are a lot of reasons for this, but one of the reasons is that students really won't watch the video unless it's part of their grade. I mean, obviously some of them will, but I think to get everyone in the class to watch these videos, you really have to give them some points for it. So I treat it just like a homework grade. The major issue with students not watching your videos is you don't want 10 people in the class to show up very prepared and 10 people to show up completely unprepared. If you don't make sure that everybody watches these videos, you've kind of split your audience down the middle. And that's always a difficult situation in the classroom to deal with. So please, if you only use one of these tips, use this one. Please include assessment of some sort into your videos. And if you're wondering logistically what I do, I just have the students write down the video quiz on a piece of paper and bring it to class and turn it in at the beginning of the class. The next tip I have kind of follows up on that. My recommendation is to make sure that these assessments are directly relevant to what just happened in the video. Make sure that there's a pretty big advantage to actually watching the video versus just scrolling to the end to get the video quiz. My next tip is to keep in mind that every classroom is different. While I really like the idea of partially flipping a classroom, I know it's not going to be for everybody, and it's not going to be for every subject, and it's not going to be for every class. You really have to consider what content you're actually putting online. Is it content that students would benefit more from having you and the students around them? Well, if so, don't put it online, just do that part in class. I usually try to find topics that will typically bore students to death in the classroom. I like to get those out of the way in the videos, and then the classroom itself can have a little bit more energy, can go a little bit quicker. And then of course we can save all of that time where we would have bored people in class. We can do something like homework or group work or something on the board. My next tip, when you're editing these videos, you may see this happening in this video, is to edit out when you're not saying anything and you're writing. It just happened right there. So I said what I was going to write down, I wrote it, and then when I went back and edited the video, I cut out the time that it took me to actually write that down. It's something that you can do that's really simple in Camtasia, and at least for me, it allows me to cut down the length of these videos quite a lot. My last tip is to not try to completely reinvent what you do in your classes. At least not right away. Take baby steps, take your time. Decide next semester that you're going to make 2 video lectures for your students on topics that usually don't go over very well in the classroom and that you think you can make more fun. Or maybe you can just make it go by a little bit more painlessly in a video. And see how it goes. See how your students like it. If your students really like your videos, then maybe add a couple more next semester. I guess my point is, don't feel like you have to be completely overwhelmed by this and change everything in one semester. Make small changes and see how it goes. Okay, that's all I have for you in this video. We'll talk about details and any questions that you might have when we meet in person. Hopefully I'll see you soon.